To discuss ways of intensifying the battle against the coronavirus in South Africa. This as the number of confirmed cases increased to 38 yesterday. For more on today's cabinet meeting, we cross live to our reporter Samkele Maseko at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. Samkele, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, take us through what is expected from today's meeting and whether the cabinet will take drastic measures that some people are calling for, or perhaps a more revised approach.
In the words of the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, he says that if drastic decisions need to be taken in this all-important urgent cabinet meeting taking place here at the Union Buildings, those decisions will be made. That various ministers in the interministerial team looking into dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic virus of coronavirus, they will be making representations within this particular meeting of how much work they've done, how far they've gone. The Minister of Health, Dr. Zwelini Mkhize, will also be in attendance as the man who's at the forefront of dealing with this particular pandemic in the country. He will be making a detailed report in this particular cabinet meeting, and the decisions will have to be made. For instance, yesterday when we spoke to the governing parties, Deputy Secretary General Jesu Duarte, she said that they hope as the governing party that South Africans will hear from the President of the Republic of South Africa once the cabinet meeting is done. But various ministers such as the Mamologo Kupai, the Minister of Transport, have spoken about the impact that this COVID-19 virus is having on the tourism sector in the country. For instance, if you look at one inland country, Lesotho, they've also taken drastic measures in dealing with the spread of these measures within their country. They've imposed some travel restrictions in their country. You go to the restrictions that came from a country like Rwanda yesterday, where they spoke about all sporting codes being postponed and cancelled in that particular country, saying that schools will now be closed and there will be minimal interference and interaction of people within that country, and saying that if people are able to work from the comfort of their homes through collaboration with their employers, that must be the stance taken by the employers and the workers in the country of Rwanda. So these are various measures that have been taken by other countries within the African continent. Then if you go abroad to EU countries which are largely stricken by this COVID virus 19 that is largely within the European countries, you go look at Italy. Italy is on lockdown currently, and you go to other countries. For instance, when you go to the United States of America, they have also imposed restrictions on Europeans traveling into America by their President Donald Trump. You go to South America, in Brazil, they've also been highly affected by this particular pandemic at this point in time. And where it originated in China as well, you've had about over 100 South Africans who were repatriated yesterday and who were welcomed in Polokwane at the ranch and at the Polokwane airport by the Deputy Minister of Health, Joe Pahla, who did welcome those particular citizens in that SANDF mission to repatriate those South Africans. That has been successful. They are now being quarantined in Polokwane at the ranch, and then government has now called for this all-important urgent cabinet meeting to discuss various ways and measures of dealing with this COVID-19 virus. They're probably looking at changing tact on how they are dealing with this particular pandemic.
Maseko will certainly be in touch with you a little later on in the show. Thank you so much for your time. That was a reporter Samkele Maseko speaking to us live from the Union Buildings, wherein the cabinet will be convening a crisis meeting on how to deal with coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19.